Mrs. Doubtfire is a 1993 comedy film that was directed by Chris Columbus, and the plot is we meet Robin Williams, who is married with 3 children. He has this pretty nice job as a voice actor for this animated show. So what could really be wrong? Well, his marriage isn't going quite well. In fact, him and his wife, played by Sally Field, they argue a lot. And it's to the point where Sally Field has decided that she wants a divorce. And this is a big problem because this causes Robin Williams to not be able to see his kids every day like he wants to. So when he finds out that Sally Field has placed an ad in a newspaper looking for a nanny, he dresses up and he pretends to be a 60-year-old woman and becomes the nanny for his kids. Now, what I think of Mrs. Doubtfire is I love this movie. I do. It's a film that I grew up on watching so many times as a kid. I had the VHS of this movie. I was probably about 4 or 5 years old when it came out. So obviously I like it for that reason. But even rewatching it after so many years later, I still enjoy this film. I still have so much fun with it. Let's talk about Robin Williams as not only a loving, devoted father who is willing to do anything just to spend time with his kids. That's heart-wrenching enough. But him as Mrs. Doubtfire, I think if you were to ask anyone, like just any regular person out there, name a Robin Williams movie, probably their first answer would be Mrs. Doubtfire. And it's not because it's his best movie, his best performance, or anything like that, but it's because I bet a lot of people grew up with this movie. I bet a lot of people have fond memories of this film, and I bet a lot of people remember just how much Robin Williams poured himself into this character. When he becomes this woman, I don't know if it's the effects, the makeup, or I don't know if it's because he's so good at playing this old lady that there's times when I forget it's Robin Williams in a suit and it feels like this is a real person. And not just for the silly moments, the obvious funny moments, to see him dancing, you know, vacuuming the room, or the moments where someone tries to steal his purse and he beats the person up, or when he tries to cook for the family and he accidentally burns his fake breasts. Sure, all of that is funny, but even Robin Williams being himself, the over-the-topness, the multiple voices that he does, like when you see him go off trying to get more jobs, and just the several different voices and how animated he is. And when you throw in the dramatic stuff, I bet some people also forget how much, at least what I felt like, were sad moments, the moments with his family in particular, like when he gets the court order that he can't see his kids as much as he wants to, and how genuinely sad that makes him. I feel for the character. I feel bad for him. Yeah, it might be a little crazy if you really sit down and think about what he's doing, the fact that he's dressing up and pretending to be an old woman just to see his kids. Sure, there's a sick sort of way you could look at that. In fact, if anyone's seen a trailer that somebody made as like, what if Mrs. Doubtfire was a horror movie? But obviously, I look at it more as just a father that's desperate and willing to do anything. There's a good amount of people who don't like this movie. It's weird because I love it, and it's hard for me to even understand why they don't like it, but maybe it has to do with the fact that they like Robin Williams more in serious roles and whatnot, so maybe they think that this is one of those easy gimmicks of wearing a dress and playing a woman and getting easy laughs. Sure, it might seem that way, but watching it, I don't get that at all. I feel like Robin Williams is too talented in order to let that cloud you. Even the moments in the film where you see Sally Field starts dating Pierce Brosnan, James Bond, before he was James Bond, and Robin Williams being Mrs. Doubtfire, he just doesn't like Pierce Brosnan right off the bat because he's good looking, he's rich, he has all this stuff. So all the times where he's messing with him and Pierce Brosnan's reactions and just awkward, like he can tell Mrs. Doubtfire doesn't like him and is messing with him. Or at the end of the movie where Robin Williams gets stuck having a dinner sort of interview with this guy for a potential great TV gig for a kid's show. But he also has to go as Mrs. Doubtfire to the same restaurant with the family. And seeing him run back and forth to the bathroom, dressing up like Mrs. Doubtfire, going back to his regular clothes, even when he accidentally goes to his boss's table as Mrs. Doubtfire, you're just like, oi, this isn't going well. Especially because he's getting drunk and it just gets crazier and crazier. So, what more can I say about Mrs. Doubtfire? I love this film. To me, it's a classic. Sure, some people would say this isn't one of his best films, but to me, it's one of his most memorable. And I know there was talks about a potential sequel. Like, for years and years, they were talking about doing a sequel. I mean, I would have watched the sequel if they made it, but honestly, I never needed it. I think the ending that this movie has, the nice ending with him and his kids, I think that's enough for this movie. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think of Mrs. Doubtfire? Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Later!